Yeah.
And we're live. So welcome to my channel. My name is Sylvia, if you are new here. And this is my new writerly channel. Sincerely, Sylvia Writes How to Think About It, because I just changed the name to my planning channel. And I don't even know. Anyway, so today we're going to do a mashup of writing sprints as well as talking about screenplay writing during the breaks. So let's start by introducing yourselves and telling us what you're going to be writing today, and we'll start with Diane Mariee.
Well, hello, I'm Diane, and I make videos here on YouTube, kind of just documenting my life and my writing journey. And I'm not going to be writing today because I have actually just recently finished my zero draft, so I'm taking a little bit of a break. But I do have a lot of like October planning and just general life planning and things I need to catch up on. So that's what I'm going to be working on today.
I know you finished Ben.
Yes.
So cool. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Diane Mariee just got 300 subscribers plus. I think it's way more than that now.
Yeah, it's getting up there. Yeah. Super excited.
Okay, and Amara?
This is the part I hate. Okay, so I am Amara. So I also make videos on YouTube. I don't know what I do. I mostly do vlogs and then some sit-down videos. A lot of them are just me sitting down, drinking a lot of coffee, talking as fast as I can, and then just uploading it 5 minutes later. So that's what I do. What I'm working on is a script that it's called The Trophy Wife, and it is ideally going to be like it's a TV pilot is what I'm working on. So, and I'm actually in Act 3 right now. So.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Hey, you're in Act 3 already?
Act 3. Well, we say already, but I started this in December, so it should be more like you're only in Act 3.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm only in Act 1, so.
Yes, but so I am in Act 3, but I had to go back through and do like a major, not really rewrite, but just like X out of random stuff that shouldn't have been there. And so it kind of delayed progress. But
yeah.
Right on. Oh, and Amara, tell them about your new book subscription that you just announced.
Okay, so yes, so it's called The Indie Bookworm, and I have started a monthly book box subscription for indie authors. So basically, because apparently if you are not traditionally published, there's no book boxes to like see your book be sent out to people, and people open it up and like all kinds of great goodies inside of it. So I thought, well, if there's not one out there, then I'll just make one. And so that's been a project that I've been working on for, I don't know, like a couple months now. And it will be live next month. So there'll be indie books and hopefully like a lot of small businesses will be having things inside of there. I actually have a couple people that are creating things special for the box. So it's exciting.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like it's
Okay. And then of course we have my lovely co-host Lauren.
Hi guys. So I'm a hot mess as usual. I am a pantser. Like my pants are on fire. I'm such a pantser right now. I have 3 novels open that I'm actively working on, which is a mob romance series. And actually lately I've been writing more during the week than I do on the weekend, which is very rare because I am so busy with online teaching because I'm a teacher. So that's crazy, but that's like how I unwind at the end of the night. But they're coming along, they're doing good. I average about right now 10,000 words a week. So I'm hoping to kind of like get that momentum kept up. So yeah, I'm just all over the place and I love being here with these ladies. So it's been great.
10,000 words a week doesn't sound like a mess. Like that sounds like legit. Like when I'm a mess, I do not get 10,000 words a week. That's amazing. Good for you.
And I get 10,000 words a year. Like
it like hardly ever happens this way. I think it's just because I'm so stressed out with we're moving soon and we're teaching online classes and I work 10 hours a day that when I get home, like I'm too tired to even watch TV. I've got all these thoughts going inside my head. So it's just like therapeutic. Like I get like 1,000 to 2,000 words a night written. And then some nights I skip but it is what it is. But
Yeah.
Can I just say how much I love that you're writing a mob romance story? I posted this in your little writers group, and this is not like a oh ha ha, like this was like my plan was I wanted to be a mob wife. Like not a trophy wife. Like at first I was like, oh, I want to be a trophy wife for a living. Like that's just my only goal in life. Just marry a rich guy. And then I was like, well, no, that's not. No, I want to marry like a rich mobster. So like from like 18 to 20, like that was the only thing I wanted to do.
But isn't your family, Amara, from New Jersey?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. So mob, like the whole thing, that's just like part of the lifestyle there, right?
We're Italians from Jersey, so it's like not unusual to like be like, oh, cool, you're in the mob. Let's hang out.
I may be coming to you for research then, so get ready.
No, I live in California, so I have no actual experience with mob. And then in reality, it's probably not a great thing, but you know, The Sopranos was on, like, you know, it was.
There's like an attraction to the lifestyle. It's just like leopard print and fake nails, and just what are you doing with your life? Like that's just my ultimate goal.
Yeah. So
stuff. I won't tell anybody. You put me up in an apartment, we'll be good.
Right? I love it. So Sylvia, what are you writing on?
Okay, so today I'm not writing anything because Sylvia is a mess. Team Lauren and I, because I don't know the hell. I'm supposed to be writing my script, and I have written nothing all week long. Like I have been so incredibly busy. I didn't even catch Diane Marie's 300 thing because I was like, oh, I remember that. I'm gonna write it down. No. None of that happened. And I was fighting with Jay before I left because he's putting in this ginormous TV in our room. Mm-hmm. And we had a whole fight because we never had a TV before because I was in college and I was like, I have to read. You cannot put a TV in this room. So we never had one. And then when I was done with college, he put a small one in there, right? From our office. He's like, we could just move it over. I was like, fine. So then he comes home with this huge ass TV and I was like, what's happening here? And he's like, oh, there was a sale. And I was like, doesn't mean you have to buy things. Installing it, I had to leave because I was just going to lose my mind. So I've gotten no writing done because people are just in and out of my house all week. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
So I have to catch up on a lot of emails because, as you guys know, I was gone for the whole month of April. No, that is a lie. I am losing it. And so I had all of these emails I had to respond to for people on my planner channel. They were asking me to do collabs and stuff, and I hadn't gotten back to any of them, which made me feel like awful. And so I just have to go through all of them still and be like yes or no, or maybe next month. I don't know.
Right.
That is what I'm going to be doing. And so also, if you're watching this back later, thank you. Don't forget to like. But I'm pretty sure everyone's looking for me on my other channel, which has 9,000 subscribers, and I don't because I just forgot to tell people. I'm just like, yeah, it's on my channel.
Right.
It doesn't show that we're live on YouTube right now.
It says end broadcast.
Yeah, we're live.
There's a problem right there.
Are we looking on the right channel?
Dun dun dun.
We're definitely live.
I love the name, like the way you've like changed the names on both your channels, but Sincerely Sylvia Writes, and then the other one is Sylvia with a Plan. I love that, and the branding, colors, like. Teach me.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Hudson's like, Sylvia, you should probably have some freaking, color scheme. I'm like, oh yeah, that's like a thing. So I listened, but like, yeah, I don't have like a color scheme with my other channel because planning, it's all just different things. But it was easy to do with Sincerely Sylvia Writes, and I wanted to be Sincerely Sylvia, but there was already like a makeup guru who had that name, and I was like, well, we're just gonna throw right on there, and then people will know what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah.
So should we start our first 15-minute sprint? I'm gonna post some things, and hopefully people will find us. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna post some things too.
Because I'm just whatever. All right, let me see. And then Amara, if you ever need help with this, I could totally help you with how to, like we could do like a private chat on how you write and do all of this at the same time because it takes a while, but then you figure it out.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, the program that I have is on like, I've got it on, I don't know. we have to put two words together properly when we come back.
Okay, we will see everyone back in 15 minutes. And Lauren, don't forget you're unmuted.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry.
Okay. How did everyone do?
I did okay. I have started, I'm working on my bullet journal. So I'm filling stuff out, trying to get my life together a little bit. So yeah.
Planning, I love it.
Yes, I too love it. I need it. How about you?
Amara, how did you?
Hi, I'm back. Whew. So as soon as we started the sprint, I hear kids on the stairs, and my husband has to come in, and apparently there's cat peas on the floor, and the kids want to have breakfast, and Mom, what are you doing? You don't work today? And so I spent the whole 15 minutes just making sure people are fed and happy and will leave me alone for the next hour and a half.
Oh,
Lauren, how did you do?
I did good. I did about like 203. Not bad.
Wow, that's actually really nice.
I like it.
That's great.
Okay, so talking about screenplay, I'm reading a book by Syd Field. Am I echoing? No? Okay.
I like that one.
Anyway, and so I always decide when I'm going to start a new project to do my research. So I was like, okay, I'm going to read something. And I was like, what do I read? And I thought, oh, duh, you can just read Save the Cat, because that's where they got Writes a Novel from, right? From the screenplay. And I was like, I didn't really care for that. So I thought I would try Syd Field because it's really recommended. Have you guys ever read that?
Which one?
Woohoo! Look at she has.
Which one? So, you have the screenplay. I have the Screenplay Writer's Work book.
Oh, is that good? Do you like it? I should check it out.
I read this like years ago when I was in school.
Me too.
And I remember liking it. I remember liking it a lot. So I had to like get all the books that I have to like refresh, because I haven't been in school for like, I graduated 5 years ago. So everything, I need to like refresh myself. And I was reading a little bit this morning and I was like, I love screenwriting. Like I love the screenplay.
It's been like 7 years for me, but I really love that book. And here's the quote that he writes, and it goes with question 1. And Lauren, you're also going to be able to answer this question, even though you're not writing a screenplay. And I think we're all going to laugh at your answers because they're going to be great. So he says, first, how does it look on the page? Is there plenty of white space, or are the paragraphs dense, too thick, the dialogue too long, or is it the reverse? Is the scene description too thin, the dialogue too sparse? So basically what he says in this chapter is he doesn't even read it. He like flips through your screenplay, and if he doesn't like the way it's formatted, like it looks like there's too much dialogue or not enough action, he doesn't even read it. And I was like, oh my God. Because you do hear like, in novel writing, they might read like the first paragraph, the first page, and if it's like blah, they just move on. But I had no idea they're just gonna like flip through it and not even read anything. So what do you think about that, Amara?
I think that obviously formatting, especially because you have to convey, like, okay, so when you're writing a novel, your words, everything you write is how you're going to make sure that the reader can see almost like a movie in their mind. So you have to be very descriptive and you have to use a lot of words. Screenwriting is so different because the pictures are what's going to help people see the movie or the show. Like the pictures and the images that they're seeing is how they're going to see it in their mind, right? So you don't want too much dialogue, but you also don't want not enough dialogue. And so formatting is the bane of my existence. It's hard. It's really hard, especially because I come from like writing a book is what I was working on. So I want to just fill the entire page with everything that I visually see for the scene. Like I have a scene where there's 2 lines, like she's saying one thing to somebody, and I want it to be like a page of like explaining what the texture is and what this is and what that is. And I'm like, I can't do that. I can't do that. All I can do is say, this is the place that she's in, and this is the person who's interacting with, and maybe a little bit. And it's really, really hard. It's really hard.
What about you?
But it's also important because
No, you're okay. Go ahead.
No, it's okay.
I think there's a little bit of a lag, so I was like,
I would say it's also it's right. I think it's different though too, because when you're writing a book, it's just you and your story. But when you're making a movie or writing a show, there's so many other people that get to be involved in that creative process, which is why you can't put a lot of different descriptions, because you're going to have so many other people, costume designers that are going to decide what they wear, or cinematographers that are going to figure out what angles and what lighting and what looks right visually. So you can't put that stuff in a screenplay because it's not your job.
Yeah, exactly. So Diane, Mariee, what do you think? From what I'm hearing from Amara, it's about balance, which I also struggle with.
Yeah, and also like Amara, coming from the world of writing like story, like writing a novel, it's very different. And I think in that chapter that you're talking about, he also says how just by looking at the format of the screenplay, he can tell if it's like a novice screenwriter or like a professional screenwriter or whatnot, because it is really hard to find that balance, and like because it's such a different thing. So like with a novel, essentially you're seeing things through a character, and you're like in their head, and you get a sense of like their character and their thoughts. With a screenplay, you don't do that. Like you can't write in your screenplay, in your description, oh, she remembered this thing. Like, no, it's what you see. So you're telling the story strictly in a visual way, in pictures, and that's very different from writing a novel, because you're very much in the mindscape of the character. The screenplay, you have to really balance getting enough of the sense of the story and the character, but telling it in a way that's a lot more visual, and you can only write down the things that you can see on screen. So it's very hard, and formatting is really, really important, because you need to get really good at it. And it's hard. It's so hard.
Yeah. I'm starting to realize that, because I'm like, well, screenplay is going to be totally easier. It's less words. No, you have to be even more specific. The dawdling writer says, I think this is a lot more important now, even for novels. Reading on phones or devices is a format we have to consider now. That is true. And I don't know how to do any of that. I'm so excited and terrified when I get to that point of publishing.
Mm-hmm.
She also says, in regards to huge paragraphs when reading on devices, if readers pause in reading and then come back, many readers become frustrated with trying to find where they are.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So that brings us to our teacher on the panel, Miss Lauren. So your question, because I know you're not writing a screenplay, is how many times as a teacher have you gotten a student's work, whether it was an essay in like on paper or sent to you by email, and you just saw like a block of text and there's like no paragraphs, no, like you're like, oh my God.
Every day, because I teach freshmen, so literally every day of my life. That's a big one. I think in a way that's kind of a hard question to answer now, because the kids I teach didn't grow up like we taught, where we only had pen and paper, and then maybe you would go to like a library computer or something every once in a while for like a special project, or and have it typed out. Now kids are doing everything through their phone, through stuff, and their handwriting, like their actual handwriting, is horrible. But even just that, it's just the text type and all of that. That's what I'm battling in the classroom today, is making them be like, no, okay, that's fine when you're texting your homegirl, but when you're writing an essay, like you have to tell me, like, I need more. So yeah, I definitely see that a lot. That's something that I've been noticing too with my own writing, is when things are formatted, is a paragraph that I think is like a normal regular paragraph going to show up really long in someone's phone or in someone's e-reader, or is it going to show up as short like I see it? how much dialogue is too much dialogue, how much dialogue is not enough dialogue. And I think that's something that like you as a writer you just constantly second guess, like unless if it just comes from your brain and you're super excited. Those are very rare moments, and especially when you're stuck or you're trying to manipulate a scene, it's hard to be like how much is enough and how much is too much. But I can definitely see where it would be a struggle, because in writing a novel you're supposed to show not tell, where you're showing, you know, the visuals in that person's mind, and then in screenwriting you have to tell and not show, because you're trying to convey to the visual director, the whoever, like this is the bare bones of what needs to be like in there, and then it's up to the director and the actors to take your dialogue and what you put in the description and make it their own. So I mean, yeah, it's intense. I can see where that would be hard to like switch over and then switch back. So I give you props.
The Dawdling Writer says, my past high school students would read on their phones a lot, then often DNF'd ebooks with huge passages. So that is something seriously as a writer I need to start paying attention to, because in my mind I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. This is what needs to happen. But in a reader's mind, especially age group, I'm doing YA, so that's teen. I feel like I have to make shorter chapters. Because my niece is in 5th grade and she's always like, wait, how many pages is it? I'm like, don't look at how many pages in the chapter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's come back after the break and talk about something else. I will put up another, well, I hate doing that actually, because then I cover whoever's on the bottom. So we'll just do another sprint for 20 minutes. Yes?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, share the screen again. Okay. And good luck.
Good luck.
Yay!
Is it lagging? I can't hear you, Sylvia. Is it
I'm muted.
I was like, I think her mouth's moving.
That is so oh, it's one of those mornings. Anyway, so the documenting writer had to leave because her live stream starts soon. Thanks for coming. I love her. We had another comment that I was going to share and I forgot where it went. Brittany. So she says, especially remembering everyone has to be able to do their job from your script, director, lighting, art director, you have to be specific even for them to do their job while not being overbearing. That is true. So there is a difference between writing a shooting script and a spec script. So I'm currently working on a spec script because usually a shooting script doesn't happen until you get the green light on your project. So you don't have to add in a bunch of that stuff, which is really nice. I don't have to learn that yet. And I feel like I'd prefer to just do the spec and allow somebody else to, I don't know if that's a thing.
I'm not too sure. I just know that a script is like an ever-changing thing. It's constantly changing. Like there's constantly rewrites and things changing and whatever. Yeah, and there's definitely the big difference between a spec script and like a production. There's like a production script. There's a shooting script. Yeah.
I had no idea there was that many versions of scripts. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
It's actually really fun.
Go ahead, Amara.
You can almost find any script or like movie or like thing that's been out for a long time. You can actually find the scripts, and so it's really fun to like find your favorite show or movie and then like read the script and watch the movie or the show and see how different it is. Like I did that with Heart of Dixie because I think that would be like the closest equivalent to like what I'm going for, like completely different plot, everything, but like the kind of feel and the cutesy but serious and sad and funny, like kind of all of those feelings you get when you watch that show, like that's what I was trying to capture. So I read the pilot and I was like, wow, it's so similar, but it's so different. And then basically the way that I've done is what we're doing is like the first draft of your book, basically. Only, it's polished, it's perfect, it's wonderful, but it's just the first draft. And then all these other people are going to come in and they're going to change it. And it's going to keep changing. And you also have to, like, and this is the part I struggle with, is trusting that if this ever goes out into the world, that the people that are going to be involved are going to make it better and be able to, like, let go of that control a little bit. Because I think when it's just a book, it's just you and your story and what you want. And you have to trust with a script. Like you have to trust that your actors will convey what you want them to. And all these other people, they're going to have their idea of how they can make it better. And it's no longer your thing anymore. It's everybody's thing.
Yeah, that's my major concern about books to movie adaptations and why I hate so many of them, because usually somebody else other than the author is the one writing the actual script, and they leave out like the heart of the story, and you're like, this is not anything like the book. And they forget about that fan base that started the reason why they even got a script deal in the first place. Yeah, that's definitely a thing. So Amara already touched on question 2, so we'll continue with Amara. What do you use to write a screenplay? Because I'm very interested.
So I'm using Writer Duet. There's like so many different programs out there, but I like this one because, well, it was free. I actually pay, I think like $8 a month for it because I want to be able to have multiple things, like, because you can do, I think like one project and then it's completely free. But I want to have my outline and I want to have other things. And like you and I were talking about Scrivener, and it's basically like the same thing, but it's specifically for the screenwriting. So it takes a lot of those formatting things that are hard and just does it for you. So like if you write a character's name, it like remembers. And so if I want to write Rebecca, like, because you have to put like the name of like who's speaking like at the top, I'll put an R and it automatically tells me like Rebecca, and I just hit enter, and then it formats everything for the most part for me. The stuff that it doesn't do right is the stuff I screw up. And I had to figure out it doesn't like some of the stuff I try to do, doing it wrong. And so it just makes it really easy, and it houses everything in the cloud, and I can go from my phone to my computer, multiple stuff, and it's just all there. And it organizes like scenes, so which is something I'm still trying to figure out how to use. But like if I want to just go back and bounce from one scene to another, or even like move scenes around, I think it can do that. But yeah, so that's good.
Well, what about you, Diane Marie? What are you using to write your scripts?
So I remember that in school, while I was in school, I used a program. I pronounce it Celtics. It's like CEL, Celtics, yeah. So that's definitely what I used in school, and I liked it. It's super easy because the like technical formatting of a script is so like it's very precise and it's very specific, and you need to like, so I can't imagine doing that on my own. So I like that it like would do all that for me, and it would remember. I could put like slug line, description, action, a character name, or whatever, and they would like do whatever, put it exactly where it needs to go. But I have Final Draft, which is I think kind of like I don't really know. I'm not really with the times, but I think it's like one of the like more industry standard thingies. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's what I mean, I'm not currently writing any scripts, but that's what I have, and that's what I will be using.
Right. Yeah, I've used Celtex.
The program I use actually.
Oh, sorry. What, Amara? Go ahead.
You talk.
Oh, I used Celtex in college too. I think it's something that all professors give because it's like free. I don't know if it is now currently that you can go and get it for free or not, but I am using Scrivener just because I already had it and it actually has something that you can use. I think the Final Draft, is that what you said it's called? It's like it's like $200, and I was like, dude, I really want that. And you might want to pay that much depending on how much you're paying per year. And I do know that with Scrivener, it's like $40 or $50 to buy it. However, every time it has an update, it's like half that. So it's $20 to $25 to update it if you want to. So possibly buying something like straight out might be your best bet, even though it seems like it's more expensive. And hello, Shiva. How are you?
Hi.
Okay, and Lauren is helping us out. Awesome. Brittany says, I used to use Celtex, but you can only write 3 scripts. Now I use, I don't know how to say that. It's a free program and there's no limit. Oh, I'm going to write that down. See if I like it better.
That's cool.
I've never heard of that. Okay, cool. Hello, Diane. I love this picture. Okay, I am doing good. How are you all? We're doing good. We're talking about screenwriting, and then we're going to get to another sprint quickly. So Lauren, I know that you're not writing screenplays, but let us know what your favorite book to movie adaptation is, and if you have an actual book that you're thinking about turning into a screenplay.
Oh my gosh. So, oh, my chair just kind of went crazy. Oh gosh, like I love the books way more than the movies generally, so it's hard for me. The movies do help me with my dyslexia because if I'm not interested in a book, I'll watch the movie and then it helps me like go back and read the book because then I have like a picture in my head. But oh gosh, I know that I went and I looked up when I was in college the Bridesmaid script. Like Amara was talking about how you can look up those movie scripts. And I remember looking that up, and it was cool to see like how much improvisation was in the movie and like just how the formatting is so different. So I mean, I don't know. I love the first 2 Harry Potter adaptations. The first 2, The Sorcerer's Stone and Chamber of Secrets, thank you. I think Chris Columbus, the director, I think he really got it as accurate as you could have for those books. And then they kind of went left because they got popular. But, you know, it is what it is. But, yeah, I don't know if I have what it takes to write scripts. But y'all are definitely giving me a fever to try it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's definitely, I feel like it's, if you're at all interested, it's definitely worth a try, because it's, if nothing else, I feel like it'll just kind of help flex your creative muscles in a way, you know?
Right.
And also, like, I get confused because I was thinking, and I was like, maybe I should ask Lauren, but I'm asking everyone. How do you guys, do you ever have a character that's talking at the same time somebody else is, and how you have to write that out? Yet in a script, there's an awesome little button that allows you to put them side by side so that they know that they're talking at the same time. And I was like, that's amazing. How come we don't have this in novel?
Yeah.
We should make like a hybrid book where it does that. We just rewrite a new format for noveling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so let's do another 15-minute sprint, and then we'll come back and talk some more about script writing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, are you guys ready? Let me set this. And also be thinking about where you guys get your scripts from, because I have my favorite adaptation printed out. I'm like all excited about it.
Nice.
I remember there was a place you were supposed to go in college. It might be like this Screen Guild something or other. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm a liar. There, okay, it is. All
I
right.
just Googled. I was just like, part of this.
Oh, you did? Okay. Maybe I should just Google then. All right. 15 minutes.
I just Googled it.
Am I muted? This is the question.
I can hear you now.
Nice. Okay, so how did everyone do? Amara?
Okay. Mute me, and I was like, what are you doing? Can you hear me? Because the thing popped up saying that I wasn't connected to my mic anymore, and I don't know why. I don't think you can hear me. You can hear me. Okay.
No, I can.
Okay. You can. Okay, good. Like a thing popped up during the sprint that was like, hey, you're not connected to your mic. I'm like, why? I don't understand. I didn't touch it. Okay, I did great. I actually just, with like a minute left on the sprint, finished the scene I was working on. So I was about to start.
Nice.
Like, now things are going to be really juicy. So.
Very nice. Lauren, how about you?
I didn't do as much this time because I needed to stand up.
I don't know if it's
go to the
me
restroom and stuff
or
like
if it's.
Your screen is a little frozen. Sometimes if you go out and come back in, it works. So if you want to do that, I'll look for you. But if not, I can hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sorry, Lauren, what were you saying?
Oh, that was it, girl. I just took I was slower this time. How did you do, Diane?
I just continued to make my plans. I had a phone call, I think, at one point. It seems like it's been a long time. Did I have a phone call or was that the other sprint? I don't know. Time. Yeah, I didn't. I'm just continuing to make some plans, and I'm realizing I have a lot of stuff that I got to do before the end of the month, before I go back to work. So getting sweaty, getting a little overwhelmed, you know?
How are you guys going back to work in Canada?
I'm going back to work. I'm like, I think we're like I think like the film industry is like one of the last ones to kind of be going back. I'm not too sure. I don't know, but I'm starting at the end of the month. So I'm excited, but also dreading it a little bit because I've been so used to all this time that I have to myself and just like waking up and like doing whatever I want all day. It's amazing. But I'm really grateful to have a job again. So,
Yeah.
So Diane, can I ask, what do you do?
I'm an on-set props assistant. So I work I'm like the assistant to the key props person on set. And yeah.
That sounds super fun.
So you probably do get a script then, right? Because when I did like play stuff in stages, you get a script anyway. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I read scripts every day when I work. So
I'm good. You're gonna have to tell us all of your secrets about how the director,
Yes.
the person who wrote the script is stupid.
Well, the thing is, like, I mean, my experience is mainly on TV series.
Mm-hmm.
I did a few features like early on, but I wasn't really fully in it. So I'm not too sure how it works on features, but I know that at least for the shows that I've worked on so far, the writers are actually a pretty big part. Like they come to set often, and they're.
Oh my God. So it's not like I can live in a cabin in the woods and just like set my script out. What are you talking about?
You can. I think it depends. I think in a feature, like on a feature, that's a little bit more the thing. But like on a series, I think the writers are like a big part of like making sure that like things. So when there are changes or whatnot, like we need to kind of check with the writers to make sure if we have questions, we often ask the writers. So they're actually like a bigger part than I thought going into it.
Did you know that, Amara? Because I didn't.
I did, and that makes me feel happy. Like my goal is to be like, because I think it's hard to write something and then just give it, and sit and just trust that they're gonna do what you want them to do. And so I think that in movies it is a lot more like you buy your script and then it's theirs. And they can rewrite it, they can do whatever. You don't have as much control unless you have some sort of like that's part of your contract is that you're part of the decision making. But that's not your contract. If you're like a beginning screenwriter and they're just buying scripts, then you're out. That's it. But when it's a TV show, a lot more involved, and that's one of the reasons I think that when I came up with this concept, I was like, would it work as a TV show? Would it work as a movie? It works better as a show, and then I don't have to give up my babies and just trust that whoever takes them will do what they want.
Yeah.
So.
And there's a difference also between in college, in the class I took, we wrote a series, and it sucked because you had to. I said series, and Siri popped on. Sorry, and then I was writing stuff. I was like typing stuff, and I'm like, what's happening? But you had to work with a person whose episode was before you and after you to make sure that they went in line. So our professor just like wrote a character, and we had to like pull it all the way through, and it was like. It was hard, but it was, I think, 55 pages or something like that you had to write for a TV show as opposed to a regular movie script, which is like 120 or whatever. I don't know. But I remember him telling us, if you don't make that 55 pages, it's going in the slush pile. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's another thing. If you don't have the right page count, they look at that too, and they don't even bother reading it. So.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the business aspect of it.
It's hard now too.
Yep.
Amara's lagging. I can't tell.
Figuring out that page count is really difficult. Oh, again. I'm so laggy.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I couldn't hear you, Amara. Sorry. What did you say?
I don't know why I'm so laggy now. No, I think that it's the page count thing is really, really hard because especially now with streaming platforms, it's not as easy. Whereas before it was like, you had to count for commercial breaks and stuff if it was going on TV. So that it was like 45 to 60 pages, depending on, are you writing for like an HBO that's not going to have any commercials, or are you writing for a network, which is going to have commercial breaks? Now you don't really know where you're going to end up. Are you going to be on a network? Are you going to be on like an HBO? Are you going to be on Netflix? Like, you don't know who's going to want your script. So trying to write for that and page count in mind is really, really tricky.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I'll just sell it to whoever wants. Sorry.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because they do say in the book that it's like a minute per page is what you should, it's a good rule of thumb. And so Brittany said the Screenwriters Guild, that's what I was trying to think of. They literally have a library full of scripts, both printed and digital. And our professor had access to that. And that's why we got a bunch of different scripts to look at. So do you guys know, is that something you have to pay for, or do you actually have to be a part of like production? Because I knew that he had done some films and that's how he got in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's just anyone can join. It's like a group.
I'm not too sure. That I'm not sure. I know that I get my scripts just from like work. But they're not like they're just the scripts of the show that I'm working on. Like there's nothing that I go to where there's like a bunch of scripts. It's just the work scripts that I need to get.
That makes sense. So, I mean, I asked the question, I was like, where do you get your PDFs from? Because I wasn't sure. And like Amara, I just Googled it. I was like, I don't know. And then I just printed one out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Gremlins. Yes, that's right. Devin always says Gremlins. Anytime her internet's not working and it's lagging and the Gremlins are hard at play.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and it sucks when you're an overwriter. Yeah, I couldn't imagine being an overwriter on a script because it's supposed to be like the bare bones.
Yeah.
Or are you an overwriter, Amara?
Overwriter. Oh my God, I'm such an overwriter. Like, I was going into Act 2 and I had something like, what was it, like 38 pages, and I wasn't even I was like just getting into the second act where I should have had like 15 pages or whatever. Like, it was awful. I had to cut out like huge chunks and scenes and people, like characters, because the problem is too is when you're going from writing one format to another. I write best my novel as kind of like a planter or whatever, like an in-between. Like, I have an outline, but then I just go. And trying to then switch to writing this, I can't do that. I have to have an outline and I stick to it because I'll get inspired by things and then I'll just want to go and it doesn't make any sense and it screws everything up and the pacing is awful and it's all just going to come back out anyway. So I have to force myself to stick to the outline, which is really tricky because it's not how I naturally want to write.
Yeah. I think Lauren also has had that problem in the past of being an overwriter, and she's telling me she had to cut words, and I was like, oh my God, how do you do it? So Lauren, how do you do that?
Well, you cry, and then no, I'm just kidding. So I like it because it's easier for me to cut down than it is to add more. Because if I'm extra, then I'm like, okay, I can go down and cut out the frivolous things, and then sometimes it gives me more options to choose from when I am cutting down. But if I don't have enough there, for some reason, for me in my writing process, that's a lot harder. So I like it's the same thing like when I plan for teaching, I over plan the crap out of my lessons and then I just edit it down to what needs to happen. So that way if there is an act of God thing that happens, I have things to fill in that space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense. So Brittany says you can visit for free and read as a guest, but you can't take any scripts out unless you're a member. Okay, so that makes sense. And I think a membership is something you have to do when you like submit work, like if you've worked on an actual like movie script or what have you, something like that. It's been so long, I don't even know. So I think we have time for a quick 15-minute sprint and be done. Yes, is everyone okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then we'll come back and say our adieus. I don't know why I always go to a different language. I don't know what the hell I'm saying. I don't know where it comes from.
I like it.
Gremlins. No, so tell me, Diane Marie, while I'm setting this up, do we speak French? Because I know that you're like French Canadian's a thing, right? So
No, I speak Portuguese.
oh,
I do speak
super fancy.
Yeah, my
I love
parents
that.
are Portuguese.
Oh, okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I learned French like in school, but I'm not fluent in any way. So, yeah.
Yeah, because my friend Rob is from Canada and he also learned French in school.
Mm-hmm.
I took 2 years of French, had to pass the test to see if you were fluent enough to like pass the class. And now, years later, all I can remember how to say is bananas don't dance.
Oh my God,
That's it. I can say bananas don't dance. So.
That's amazing.
Bananas don't stop.
Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, and sprinting we go. Gotta turn that down. It is so loud, it freaks me out every time. So how did everyone do?
I did well. Continuing with the planning.
So I just want
My favorite man. Go ahead.
I did planning of a different sort. I just kept going back to my outline. And so, because I realized I wrote a bunch of the Act 3 outline, but it's handwritten. And so I need to start putting it into my Word Do It thing. So I started doing that. And I'm very glad, by the way, that when you do have stuff on, I'm on the bottom and you can't see my face, because I listen to music when I'm writing. And the Star is Born soundtrack is on. And I cannot listen to the last song that she sings in that movie without, every time it comes on, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, I start blubbering like a fool, and I'm just like sitting over here just like crying, and I'm like, nobody can see me, thank God.
That's amazing.
I love it. Lauren, how did you do?
I think I did 25.
Amara.
I love it, Amara. I love it so much.
That's fantastic.
Nice. And Mariee, I didn't hear how you did. I'm sorry. You were just planning? Is that what you said?
I just continued planning.
I was trying to figure out Facebook, which I am not Facebook savvy at all. We're supposed to have our writers group meeting that I didn't even, I like posted it in there. I don't know where it went. Every time I post anything in Facebook, it posts twice. I have no idea why. I don't know why. I've tried to do it on my phone. I've tried to do it on Facebook, and I'm like, Sylvia. And this one time I tried to delete it. They both went away. So I was like, I don't even know. Shiva Shea writes, says, just as I'm printing a script I found on a free script printing and downloading website, it only prints half of the script, and now my laptop has frozen. Ugh. I wonder if it's because they want you to pay for the other half. It's possible.
Probably.
Yeah. Everything costs money anymore, I swear. I just, if they $15.99 me one more time, I'm gonna lose my mind. Yes, and Lauren has put a link to our Facebook group. So we're supposed to have our first writerly meeting, which I haven't really promoted, and it's fine if people show up, yay, and we'll build it slow, because that's usually how it happens. And I'm hoping it starts small so people feel comfortable to share, which is nice. And everyone's welcome to come if you guys want to come for a little bit. If not, no worries. So thank you for everyone showing up to this screenwriting / writerly sprints video. It was fun, and it was interesting to hear everyone's take on what they're doing. And Lauren, you were a champ, because I know you're writing screenplays, but you got in there, so I love it. Thank you to everyone who joined the panel, and
thank you.
Everyone in my next video, and who knows when that'll be, because it's really nice to only have like 78 subscribers and not have to like post all of the time to keep up your AdSense. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I could just be chill, and that's amazing, because my other channel is always screaming at me, "You're losing money," and I'm like,
oh wow.
Like, who cares? Yeah, and then I'm like panicked, but then I'm like, that's another planner I can't have. Maybe I should do a video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to read a book. Write a book. Sincerely.
Subscribe to Amara's subscription thing.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And it comes up. I don't think you don't have a setup page, right?
Next month.
Next month. Okay. So make room in your budget.
On the Instagram, there's a sheet.
Okay. Well, you let us know, and we'll promote the hell out of it, girl.
Yes.
I will. Thank you.